Thank you, David. And on the music theme, there was some wonderful music on Radio 2's 21st Century Folk a couple of weeks ago on the theme of Rail 200. Go and have a look or listen on iPlayer and BBC Sounds. There's 5 brand new tunes all about railway people. Really good stuff. That's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to do is a naming ceremony, and I'd just like to thank David and Freightliner. Freightliner the company, and David very personally for everything he's done to arrange this naming, so we can actually be here today. Understand that this is no small thing to get a locomotive organised into the works, get the plates fitted, get it here, right time, right day. It is all logistics, but it takes some doing, and David has done all that. Great credit to him for that. There's one other person I would like to thank. It's the gentleman standing immediately in front of me, David Cross, who is one of our very, very loyal CILT senior members, who has worked in transport and logistics for all his working life, and is still working for us and with us, and for that we're very grateful. And we're specifically very grateful for David basically coming up with the idea of this naming, and for collecting the plates, arranging them to come here and to be put on the line. So David, thank you very much for everything you did to facilitate that. Very much appreciated. Please do come and see us in the partner zone on the train. We have the CILT display there. We tell you a little bit about what we do, both in terms of education and training and in terms of policy. It'd be nice to chat a bit more about that. But without further ado, I'm now going to hand on to by far the most important person on this stage, Anna Jane Hunter, who's the chair of CILT UK. Anna Jane.
Thanks, Julian. Thanks, David. So for those of you who don't know, the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, which is the CILT we keep referring to, was founded in 1919, and I recently learned that although people talk about us being obsessed with container boxes and warehouses and very heavy on the logistics side, it was actually heavily formed by railway men mainly, and a guy called Herman Gordon, which I think is a fantastic old-fashioned name that there probably aren't many around, was very highly involved in the founding of what was then the Institute of Transport. The L actually came later. We got the Royal Charter in 1926, so celebrating a very long history ourselves, although not 200 years. And I also recently learned that as the first female chair of the Institute, women were also very heavily involved. And actually the first paid member of staff at the Institute was a lady called Sue Woolley. So it is my great pleasure and honour to be here to name this locomotive today. And I'm going to try and do this without hurting anybody, myself included. So I'd like to name this locomotive the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. There we go.
So this locomotive is a locomotive we added to our fleet about 3 months ago. Some of you will be familiar with the locomotive being part of the DB Cargo fleet. As the freight community, this is a loco we're proud to have retained in this livery because of what it actually means. What actually is delivered by rail freight in the UK. Over £2 billion worth of benefit to the UK in terms of environmental benefit. These will all be known to the crowd, I'm sure. But delivering the goods literally every single day. This service will be this locomotive, will be back in service with us next week. It will be hauling trains into our Liverpool and into our Manchester locations on a day-to-day basis. It will be taking goods to and from Scotland on a week-to-week basis, and will be a proud part of the fleet for decades to come. So, hauling the goods that you and I consume on a day-to-day basis. So, we're pleased to launch this to the UK today, to yourselves here in Doncaster, and hopefully you'll see it on the network within the next week or so. Thank you very much.